Julius Robert Oppenheimer was born in the lap of luxury. Robert was a precocious but isolated child in a family that valued above all else success and achievement. Robert headed to Cambridge University in England to study physics under Professor Patrick Blackett, a future Nobel Prize winner and by all accounts a dashing and celebrated faculty member. Although Cambridge University should have been an exhilarating time for the budding young physicist, Oppenheimer revealed disturbing emotional issues during his stay in England. His Cambridge experiences can offer insight into later actions when he oversaw the atomic bomb project. Oppenheimer had alienated his peers by strange and dangerous behavior. Using cyanide that he had obtained from the university laboratory, he reportedly laced an apple with the poison and placed it on Blackett's desk for consumption. Now, Blackett didn't eat it, but at the same time, his parents had to come in and keep him in Cambridge by a generous donation. So after several evaluations, Oppenheimer was diagnosed with a profound schizophrenia that psychoanalysts would not benefit. Soon thereafter, Oppenheimer's Harvard friend, Francis Ferguson, visited the troubled young man to share news of his engagement. Oppenheimer was stunned at the news, and he snapped. I leaned over to pick up a book, and he jumped on me from behind with a trunk strap and wound it around my neck. I was quite scared for a little while. We must have made some noise, and then I managed to pull aside, and he fell to the ground, weeping. Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali, okay, all right. If you're going to throw something in my face so ridiculously, I'm going to speak on it. And so this isn't my particular Amazon account, but I just went to a general purpose incognito account or window to see, are they up there peddling this thing unrelentingly? Yes, they are. And this is such a tour de force, hella weird fantasy about Robert Oppenheimer. I wasn't even going to speak on it, but to shove this in my face when I'm just going to check on when my groceries are going to arrive. All right, you got me. Because white folks got this friggin', you heard of idiot savants. And what a weird friggin' era where everything you say, I just finished listening to our dear mighty brother Yappa Yappa, and I also listened to brother Mad Black TV, who were just stating how they've got these rules on words you can say and you can't say. I would say that's so they could hide the genocide. And so both those brothers did amazing shares about the censorship up on social media and YouTube specifically. I understand now you have to say unalive rather than murdered. That's crazy. Idiot savants. I fathom that for white people, they got this serious idiot psycho fancy going on where they just, I'm not blaming white people for their level of ignorance because it has been thoroughly spoon-fed to them, but they're flattered by the compliments, the fake based on lies compliments. So when it comes to any of their, bio movies and all the rest, I know a movie in general is going to play loose and fancy with the facts. But when it comes to Oppenheimer, it's above and beyond just the movie. It also involves the whole narrative about Oppenheimer. I don't know how many people have come up to me and swore well, Oppenheimer, he was fighting against the nuclear bomb. It was Edward Teller. He was the jerk. And I'm not mad at you, Brother Yapo, in case you're listening, for using profanity. You're absolutely right. Sometimes it's the only word that will do. When it comes to Oppenheimer, that's why I did that abridged quote. I did the editing just to make it more concise. From Behind the Fog, how the U.S. Cold War radiological weapons program exposed innocent Americans. I am always happy to share the titles of the books that I have read, and especially the title of the book I wrote. Because none of them folks, as much as I'm grateful for their work, all white people writing these books. And horrified, I'm not saying all white people are horrible, but I'm saying not a one of these anti-nuclear or, physicists came a looking for black you and me, even though they knew that they use radiation specifically sent to black communities to target us, and the data 100% screams that this is about us. If you want to, please get those books so you could understand all the facts that I have learned, which prove the issues being astronomically suffered by black us are caused by radiation, not just mere pollution, which is invading all territories, all land areas. But the radiation is specifically sent to us, such as through the CMOS. This right here, 2 tanks just as polluted. One, they use man-made processes to filter it out. The other one, they use a sea creature, mussels. Operates with the same filtration process, and even actually a little less all-inclusive, all-powerful as the sea moss, as a seaweed. They don't have mouths. They don't have, gaping shells to take in sediment. They just have to filter out their nutrients from the surrounding water, and they will concentrate radiation thousands of times more than you will find in the surrounding water. And I've shown other maps, and there's no place on this planet where they have not found radiation in the waters. So when you're getting that sea moss that for some strange reason is only targeted and advertised at black us, you're seeing the work of a genocider, Robert Oppenheimer. In my firm conclusion, and the facts I just proved back up that conclusion. It's like they couldn't handle the truth that George Washington wasn't this, quaint and genteel father of the United States of America. No, he was the rapist of black you and me. And he was even cruel to his own troops. They don't like to believe that, right? They prefer the fantasy about this country. And in the middle of all of that, throw in their fantasy about Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb. Oh, yeah? So this is definitely stranger than even hella weird, you gotta think about these folks and what they do. They named this whole industry, this whole region where they would cast spells, Hollywood. That is the wood used by their witches and warlocks in order to literally cast spells, because it's supposed to have a certain energy frequency that radiates out. I don't fall for none of it, because I know other than the one and the only, the Most High, everything else is about nothing. Okay? But Hollywood's whole purpose is to confuse us, as Eisenhower said. And he said that in regards to radiation and nuclear energy and the bomb, if you must. This entire industry was set up long before the Manhattan Project, Los Alamos, or any of it. And it was set up to tell tales, to spin spells so that they could commit revisionist history. Is the National Geographic only in motion pictures? This movie is based on the book American Prometheus, which is more of that idiot psychophantism, where anytime they're talking about one of their celebrated own, they wax so super eloquently. And they, most of them, I don't give a damn about learning about their stars and whatever the heck. It's got to be someone who did something serviceable that then I would be, okay, let me see what the heck they're talking about here. But they just go over. Everybody's in such a worshipful mode whenever they're talking about one of them. But when it comes to documentaries about Black us, there's always a white dude who shows up as an expert. What? Who are you? But our manager, a friggin' gatekeeper, right? And so watching these things, it's almost impossible to get beyond just their, jaw-dripping platitudes and celebration of these particular entities. And they're never going to tell you all the truth about who Oppenheimer actually was, starting with what I read. Dude attempted to murder 2 people. And in reality, in the movie, they make it seem like he's just such a popular guy. No, I've never seen it, and I will never see it. I understand it's a terrible piece of work, actually. But they're pumping it up all over the place because it got some big names all up in there who wanted to be successful. And the nuke industry would need it to be successful because it keeps perpetuating the myth that Oppenheimer gave a damn. He's the nuclear physicist who gave a damn. Hey, look at them. They got them all up in there, and I guess that's supposed to be a nuclear blast going on in the background, but all it is just the explosions. They love to. This makes all the little nerdy white guys out there feel really powerful, and it does so by making sure they don't tell the facts. When one of his own colleagues knew what the heck was up, Oppenheimer might have been a schizophrenic, and we're going to go over that one too. But he wasn't dumb. He wasn't clueless. And so Professor John Goffman, who's a nuclear physicist and co-developer of the original atomic bomb, said, "There is no way I can justify my failure to help sound an alarm over these activities many years sooner than I did. I feel that at least several scientists trained in the biomedical aspects of atomic energy, myself definitely included, are candidates for a Nuremberg-like trial for crimes against humanity through our gross negligence and irresponsibility. Now that we know the hazards of low-level radiation, the crime is no experimentation, it's murder." So when they say that Oppenheimer, later in life, he was out there championing against the proliferation of nuclear bombs, that is the oldest trick in the book with these guys. I've shared clips or scenes of this video before where the U.S. Army went through Hiroshima and Nagasaki doing super anal retentive measurements of everything. You know how they are. And they know that the bomb blast is not effective. That's why Oppenheimer was one of the dudes who was saying you gotta explode it higher and higher up in the sky so that the radiation isn't impeded by building structures. Because it's the radiation contamination that kills the quantities of people, not the bomb. And I'm going to repeat this bunches of time because I just was astounded to find the quote in Dr. Rosalie Bertell's book from Eisenhower. Keep the public confused. They have sold us a bill of goods that the nuclear bomb is the explosion is the part that we need to fear. No, 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 no. It's the radiation, and they know that. Here's another one. The government has admitted it kept military nuclear disasters secret for decades. Official spokesperson said this secrecy was part of a deeply rooted institutional practice dating back from the days of the Manhattan Project in 1942. Oppenheimer was director of Los Alamos. That was all part of the Manhattan Project. They had it, just taking place in different regions of the country so that they could make sure there was a secrecy by not having any one area know too much so they could put it all together to genocide. So dudes know what's up. They know what's up. It's in the laws, but they count on us being so distracted that we pay no daggone attention whatsoever. That is what the hella weird strike is all about, because all of those warlocks and witches over there, they're not working anymore because evil is about nothingness. It has no power. I don't care what black-like actor from the show Snowfall gets down and says, "Ooh, that power's real." No, the delusion is real. Because here they go. The United States General Counting Office gal defines radiation warfare as the use of the non-bomb radioactive agents for offensive military purposes. That would be radiological weapons that involve the placement of radioactive material into water, food, or dispersed via airborne particles. What you think the burning of the Canadian forest is all about? And them orange skies. Europe is burning right now. You ain't seeing no orange skies because they weren't contaminated like that. And so, yes, they're targeting black us, but they'll take all these daggone white people down if you are crazy enough to believe the Constitution was anything but a con. So let's go over the symptoms of schizophrenia. It's a serious mental disorder in which people interpret reality abnormally. Schizophrenia may result in some combination of hallucinations, delusions, and extremely disordered thinking and behavior that impairs daily functioning and can be disabling. People with schizophrenia require lifelong treatment. Decades later, Oppenheimer was with a group of friends and suddenly said, "I've done something terrible." And he was talking about Blackett. He said, I've done something terrible to him. I have to get up and go. He was talking as if it was happening right then and there. He obviously would be experiencing these types of delusions on a regular basis, but because these people are idiotic sycophants, they get on board for the cheering aspect of whatever they could use from these complete psychotics, these psychopaths in the book Behind the Fog. At the end of the book, because this seems to be just a culture of theirs, the author, Lisa Martino Taylor, I thank her for writing the book. At the end, she's explaining all of it away as if, well, it was just like a culture of just, they get around. And she didn't use the word mad, but yeah, mad people get around mad people and they never get better. Okay? So don't eat the sea moss. Dude knew. He knew. Yet all he went on to protest was the bomb. We cannot be that gullible. The most effective way to kill somebody was if you're eating the stuff, breathing it in, or any way you can take it into your body. It's, as Rosalie Bertell said, it's not a matter of if there will be damage. The question is what kind of damage you want to talk about. We so got this. It's just obvious from how they are in so much desperation. They're running one distracting game after another, and now they're trying to make even their hella weird witches and warlocks pay when they're like millionaires. It's not the millionaire ones who are gonna suffer any damage. It's the just regular working grunts who don't really make all that much money, right? And so we got this. We just keep putting the truth out, put the data out. If you don't like me, go get the books yourself. And then, I'm sorry, but nobody wants to watch the oceans die. Nobody wants to see all the air just be extinguished from existence so that nobody can breathe. Nobody wants to die in plane crashes because of the Wigner effect, also caused by radiation, not Wi-Fi, which is tens of billions of times less incinerating than gamma wave radiation. Right? So we got this. Support the sister who, I'm done. I am done with hell. I am done with the devil. I am done with horror. We don't have to bow down to nothing. Okay? Because goodness and righteousness and compassion and true justice, that's sane. That's the only existence that matters if being alive matters. Love you. Straight black family pride, and we own everything. Peace and blessings.